work?
I thought he worked super. I'm really happy. This horse, went 5/8 of a mile and he finished really, really well in hand. And he's a horse that continues to improve and get better and stronger. So I'm excited about it.
What were you looking for in the work?
Yeah, just really that. I wanted to see him finish well, a nice strong last quarter, but in hand and gallop out well and come back, good. And he seems like he's cooling out fine. And of course, I want to see him get over the track well. And you could tell by that work that he's, the track won't get him beat. That's one thing I don't think. I think he really liked it the way he was moving on it. So, I was very pleased. It went just as I wanted.
The way you said that about the track won't get him beat, have you found in your prior experiences here where there's some horses maybe you were concerned with the training that they weren't handling it as well?
Yeah.
Or is it just race
I
day?
think it's a very unique track. It's a really good track, but it's like most tracks. It's not for every horse. So I've had horses in the past, and not only talking about Derby here, but just running on the dirt in general, that some horses don't care for it, like other tracks I go to. And what I'd like to see is a horse really moving well through it, and that's what I saw here. So that's one thing that I'm relieved about. And I saw a lot of horses work really well the last couple of days, but this seems to be one of them.
How has he progressed since the Bluegrass? He had a big run in that race.
Yeah, he's come out of it well. This horse has had two really good works. Last one at Keeneland, of course, and he, he's held his weight good, as you can see when he trains every day. He's a big, strong horse, carries a lot of condition, and he seems very happy. So he really hasn't missed a beat.
When you mentioned that you've seen some other horses work well, do you pay particular attention to certain ones, or what are you looking for when you look at other horses?
The first thing is how the track's playing, because I know these are good horses going to the race, and sort of like how they're handling the track and how they're finishing their works, and then always have an eye a little bit on the competition and who's in and out. And just looks like a really good group of horses, both in the Oaks and the Derby, and like really impressive works all week. And I just want to have horses in both races that are in that group that worked well, and I'm pleased. I think we do.
Any that you would dare mention to the others?
No, I won't go that far. I'm not going to step on that hand grenade, but it's easy for everyone to see. It's fairly obvious to see when you just go out there and watch the horses. It's a really good group.
You had a week out. What's the focus the next 6-7 days?
Yeah, the normal stuff, just trying to get into the race healthy, happy, because anything can happen with these horses, as you know. Always keep an eye on the weather here at Churchill. It can change by the hour. So, and then the dreaded post position Derby is the worst part of the week. Hopefully we have a fair post, and he gets out of there clean out of the gate. We can go on and on about everything that needs to go right and everything that can go wrong. So we'll just take it task by task.
Does the new gate mitigate any of the problems that the old setup did?
I'm probably not the right person to ask. I mean, I've run, a handful of horses in the Derby and such, but people that have participated more, I think would probably have a better line on that. I would think so. I would think that was the objective, but I'd be actually curious of people that have maybe run more than me.
I mean, they really don't have a fair test. The first year they had it, they only had 15 horses.
Yeah,
so.
It's a good point. Yeah, it's a really good point. So it's like anything else, I mean, the way I approach everything with my business is gaining information and data. So it's probably something that we're going to have to, see a couple runs to answer that, I would say.
The rider really seemed to encourage highly motivated on the gallop out. Was that something you instructed the rider to do?
I didn't see it that way. I thought the horse was willing and started doing it on his own, and when he pulled up with his ears up, petting him, you might ask him a little bit on the gallop out. I did want him to gallop out well, so that part of it I would agree with, but I felt the horse was doing it pretty willingly, and left some in the tank from what I saw.
Who was his workmate and exercise rider this morning?
The workmate is a maiden. It's a maiden horse we use named Southern District, same owner, and we thought he'd be a good workmate at least to prompt him and get him started. Clearly overmatched, but he did his job. And Walter Velasquez was on that horse, on the workmate.
Mr. Klarman has such cool names for his horses, and I know a lot of them have to do with financial.
Yeah.
Does he name them himself, or does he have,
He names them himself. Yeah, he names them himself, and it's I think he takes a lot of enjoyment in that. And sometimes, you know, like you said, there's a lot of times there's a financial theme to him, but other times he'll use you know, something to do with the breeding of the horse, like with highly motivated being at a strong incentive. So you know, he takes it from both ends to use for the names.
What kind of personality does highly motivated have around the barn?
You know, he's a pretty cool horse. He's he'll boss you around a little bit, you know, if you get in his space. But he's all class, really. You know, he's a kind of horse that he never misses a day. You know, he eats everything you put in front of him. He's pretty straightforward, easy horse to train that way. When he goes out on the track, you know, he's all business. You know, but if you bring him out here, and you better have two hands on the shank, because he at any time, I mean, he might just decide he wants to go up or play around or push you around a little bit. All in playful nature, though.
He's kind of working his way into being the buzz horse. Is that good, or does that make you nervous?
That's a good question. I mean, if they're talking about your horses having a good chance, it's a conversation I want to be in, rather than, you know, someone talking about the horse that's not training well. So I'll take it.
Get him at 18-1 in Vegas, right?
I'd probably take that. That seems like pretty good. I think it'd be lower than that on Derby
Yeah, I
Day.
think so.
And how impressed are you by the energy level that he seems to show?
Yeah, I was really pleased, you know, especially through the wire. He was up there in the front side. I thought he was moving effortlessly through the wire and came back really good. You could see when he pulled up with the rider praising him there. I mean, he just seemed like a really happy horse to my eye pulling up. So that's really what I wanted to see. You know, honestly, regardless of how he runs, the work really couldn't have went any better for me.
You talked about wanting a target. How do you think he operated today with that target?
Yeah, you could see that he's, you know, he can be an aggressive horse. You saw in the work at Keeneland when we had him on the inside of that work. It was a little much for him to have a horse on his right side going to the pole. He got a little rank on us. So by design, we put him in the clear today and let him just start off that horse. But as you could see, by a quarter mile into the work, he was already all over him, wanting to go by him. I thought the rider, Peter Roman, did a really good job to rein him in without much of a fight, got him to settle, and then finish. You can see by that early in the work how eager he is to pass a horse, and if he can get a good forward spot in the race
Attention,
with a
horsemen.
target, that's
At
my
this
ideal
time,
spot.
Please don't bring any more horses
I think you'll see the
onto
horse
racetrack.
have no problem with the
racetrack
distance
will
if he
be
has a
closed
target to take him
approximately
deep
15
into the
minutes
race.
for harrow break. Also, immediately after the break.
Testing, they're still in school in New York. They don't get out till later, so unfortunately, although we're slowly getting back to normal with everything, it's still, traveling still can be difficult, so not this trip.